I mean, it is clickbait, but it's also not clickbait. I don't really know why. It's like 10:50 p.m. I think it's because I took a nap earlier today, but I decided I'm gonna go out and shoot some night photography, POV style, and make a video out of it. I don't know, sounds kind of fun. Let's do it. It's all rainy out, but I'm inside now, and it's nicer. I'm gonna go change out the hoodie. Basically, just they accepted your offer. Basically, yeah, that went pretty smoothly. We can probably even schedule the inspection for the weekend so you could actually be at the walkthrough. Congrats, and we will just move forward accordingly. You know, based on your schedule. If you can pull it off, sweet, we'll make it happen. If you decide not to, that's also fine. Yeah, I mean, other than that, I'll just make sure everything's moving smoothly. You're probably going to get 1,000 emails between now and then, and I apologize for that, but that's the nature of it. Okay, I'm moving to Colorado in 2 days, specifically Denver, and more specifically, actually, I'm just expanding my business to Denver. More on that in a bit. Got a final walkthrough and a closing for my good friend Trevor. So stoked. All right, let's do it. seriously love when sellers are this cool. There's like all these notes about like, here's how this works. Something about how like, if it's too cold, the combo lock on the garage doesn't work. They left painting and electrical and like the neighbor's name. Ah, nice people. Okay. Garage. That's something, so sorry about it. Bathroom still nice and clean. Yeah. That's nice and empty. Beautiful. Final walkthrough went great. I gotta head to closing. Stoked. Morning.
Morning.
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome, bud.
I have so much footage to transfer before I go, but I just got to do that at home tonight. Plus my internet there is just 1,000 times faster. All right, so I'm moving part of my business over to Denver, and what does that mean? To be clear, I'm not actually taking anything away from what I'm doing here in Minnesota. I am keeping that going, everything going, hopefully at the rate that it's currently going, although I am delegating more things to my team members, Alex and Nick. But luckily, Nick and Alex have been pretty busy on their own to the point that I'll be fairly confident that they'll do a good job. And plus, I'll actually be working while I'm in Denver, so it's not like it's some vacation that they're totally distracting me from. All right, I'm gonna go sit over here. And so what am I going to be doing in Denver? Basically the same thing that I do here, which is making a ton of videos about Denver. You know, some people talk about like everybody has their own superpower or everybody has their own unfair advantage. And I kind of think mine is basically my ability to do video, specifically in real estate. For one, there's not that many people in the real estate world who are actually competent with video or actually even comfortable on video. And you know, before I was ever a real estate agent, I was a videographer and a photographer, and I had done a little bit of vlogging. In retrospect, not the best work ever. But the beauty of something like real estate is that the bar is fairly low as far as, you know, video productions. And you know, it's YouTube videos. I'm aware of that. It's just YouTube. But YouTube is the best. I think the thing that I'm exceptional at in the real estate world is video. And maybe you've heard of the 80-20 rule, which is basically that 20% of the work you do generates 80% of the benefit, right? Whether that be profit, or I suppose if you're thinking about it from like a physical fitness, it's like 20% of the possible things you could do while working out would generate 80% of the gains, right? And the inverse to the 80-20 rule, I suppose, would be this 20-80 rule. Nobody calls it that, but basically the inverse to that idea of 20% of what you do creates 80% of the effort. The opposite applies, meaning that 80% of the crap that you do only is generating 20% of the benefit. So if you can offload that 80% of things you're doing, that actually creates 20% of the benefit, and just focus on the 20% of things that are the most cost effective, the thing that basically that you do better and that generates more benefit for you than any other thing, then I suppose in theory that would leave 80% of your time. You could in theory do 5 times as much. And so that usually ties into doing the highest dollar per hour work and then delegating everything else. And it is my opinion that right now the videos that I make for my To the Twin Cities channel are the highest dollar per hour work that I do at all, even though I actually don't get paid directly from those videos. But I suppose in theory they generate clients, right? They attract people to work with our team. All right, I'm gonna hop over here real quick. All right, I had to bring in the serious lighting. So interestingly, one thing that I really love about the idea of expanding my business to the Denver market, which is that not only am I going to be able to create more business and income for myself, but basically by default, I'm going to be utilizing Alex and Nick more, and I'll be able to bring them along for the ride and hopefully help them grow and hopefully enrich their lives. And I mean, that alone is a very exciting prospect for me. So fundamentally, I have this thing, I have these plates spinning here in the Twin Cities, right? I have the videos that I have to be making, I have clients that I have to be taking care of, I have the team that I'm sort of managing and, you know, trying to get them going on their thing. And then I just have this sort of never-ending workflow of things that I have to make sure that I'm staying on top of. Otherwise, you know, the plates will crash, right? And so that's fine. Honestly, I enjoy it. I like to be busy. You can ask just about anybody who knows me. I prefer to be busy. But we can go back to the spinning plate metaphor. And basically, if I can learn how to delegate, you know, clients being taken care of, cool. Then that's one less plate to be spinning. And so if I add plates over here in Denver, well, here's the thing, I'm not gonna add too many plates, right? Because I know, okay, I have these going, this is gonna be ridiculous. But I think if I add 1 or 2 plates, then I literally can't even keep doing that. And I know this is still a metaphor, but I think it's kind of accurate. But I think by forcing my hand over here, right, and saying, boom, you're doing this. Basically, I booked the flight before I had a plan in place. I was like, there you go. There's the dates you're doing. You got to go over to Denver. But what this does is it forces me to figure out ways to manage these parts of it better, right? So to me, the first and most important, you know, thing that I'll sort of begin to delegate is things like showings, right? And also just clients who are coming in, right? I'm still completely wrapped up in it. I'm still dealing with clients, and I intend to continue to do that for quite some time to come. However, there are certain things that just take so much time that I literally can't do all of it. The other weekend, I did 34 showings in like 3 days. And I think I wrote like 6 or 7 offers. And if you're not a real estate agent, you might not realize like how much of a challenge that is. But if I can just get rid of the showing part of it, then that will open up a ton of my time. And then Nick and Alex can do a bunch of the showings, but then that frees up my time to work through these offers with people. So I'll be able to delegate a bunch of these sort of like in the business kind of business, right? And then I think a sort of unintended consequence of the whole thing will be that I will be forced to further systematize the business, right? I want to be able to have certain things down to such a slick system that there are less and less sort of small tasks that I have to perform on a daily basis, or that my team has to perform on a daily basis, because I, the team leader, have such good systems in place. And then lastly, one sort of final piece that I began delegating was the research for all of these videos. The research of a video, I don't really research these videos as much. These are a little more off the cuff, but the videos on my To the Twin Cities challenge are pretty research intensive. I can't just go, hey, here's what this looks like. I have to give some kind of background and explain this is how this is, and here are some statistics on it. If I just say, hey, this place is nice, that's not that helpful, right? So every video legitimately takes like 2 to 4 hours of research, and some of them even longer. So that work I've begun delegating to my very good friend. And again, this is all basically so I can do the highest dollar per hour thing, or basically the things that I can do on what I hope is a very, very high level, and to continue to raise the bar. And it will be very interesting to see just how far I can take the expansion, but I'm taking like a fairly decent financial risk. I mean, for one, just this single trip out to Denver, which I think I'm gonna have to do almost monthly. It's the plane ticket, it's a hotel, it's a rental car, right? And that isn't exactly nothing, but I do think the juice will be worth the squeeze. But then I'm also intimately aware of the idea that it takes time to grow a YouTube channel, and that I am going to have to put in a decent amount of time before I potentially see any benefits from it. But I suppose that is sort of the entrepreneurial risk, right? That is why high risk, high reward is a thing. But I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I have a showing to get to, and then I gotta go home and I gotta pack because I leave tomorrow morning at like 6 a.m. Cool, let's do it. I swear by this stuff. Host defense, mushroom, myco, shield, spray, immune support, peppermint. I take this, I don't get sick. I don't know. All right, y'all. I'm moving to Denver.